In a growing world with rising crime rates, the good old days of leaving your front door open and leaving your car unlocked may be over. But that certainly doesn't mean Michiana's safest communities aren't utilizing an old school system in the 21st century to draw in young families. In a special report, only ABC 57's Vihid Sadrazadeh went out in the search of the secrets to a safe community.
Hey, Colleen, when you step into rural America, you are stepping back in time. When things were simpler, much in Michiana has changed. Movies on our iPhones have replaced drive-ins, energy drinks instead of cream soda, old-fashioned family time torn apart by Facebook feuds. But what if I told you there are 4 communities in Michiana that are not only a throwback to the good old days, but also hold the keys to what makes a safer community?
Only a few miles from the hustle and bustle on Main Street in Mishawaka. Rain clouds darken this wanderer's path in Wakarusa. A horse and buggy headed to the unknown in Napanee. The magnificence and brute strength of Lake Michigan in Stevensville. 18 miles to the east in the village of Eau Claire. Another busy day serving generations at the general store. Main streets in these communities take on a different tone.
Quiet.
Familiar faces. There's a simplicity in the smiles. Trust among neighbors. These 4 old-fashioned towns can feel. Janet was born and raised in Stevensville, but on this day, the journey took her down the road
I think I'll get my jelly beans as well.
to the timeless Wakarusa dime store. The iconic treasure, part of the fabric of Wakarusa, dating back to the early 1900s when it was a general store. Mac McNally and his wife have now owned the gem for nearly a quarter century.
When my son was growing up several years ago, let's say, he knew that he could be in trouble with anybody in town. So if he did something wrong, there was more than just my eyes on him.
The eyes and ears of everyone, a constant that makes the community of Wakarusa one of the safest in Indiana. In fact, according to AreaVibes.com, the overall crime rate there is 64% lower than the national average.
The days of leaving your car unlocked and letting it run it's over. Those days are over even for us.
Jeff Troxel, a former deputy with the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department, is now the Wakarusa town manager.
Yeah, I guess we try to be the example. You know, I grew up in this community, and for as long as I can remember, Wakarusa has been a safe place to live, a community where you want to raise your kids. And so I never strayed far from this community, and that's where I wanted to raise my kids. And we have a lot of people that actually come here because of that.
Just 7.5 miles down State Road 19.
When I look at this picture, I'm thinking to myself, man, Napanee is just as safe as it was in the early 1900s than it is today. Is that a true statement?
I think so.
Fresh out of the academy, South Bend native Steve Ruley was narrowing potential job opportunities.
Some of the friends I had in law enforcement had a lot of people giving me advice and where I should put in, and a lot of the different people that I talked to said, you got to go to Napanee. I said, well, what's small, what's different about Napanee? That said, it's the people, it's the officers. If you could go anywhere in this area, you should go there.
That was 15 years ago. Ruley took the advice and moved his family there. He now serves as the chief of police for the city of Napanee, widely regarded as one of the safest places to live in Michiana. Napanee nearly 65% safer than any other U.S. city.
The town isn't the administration, it's not the government, it's not the police department, it's the people that are in it, you know, and we represent those people.
Not quite as north as the North Pole.
How's the house coming along?
Pretty good.
Good.
A Michigan village that warms the heart, and a bio
So Eau Claire means clear water.
that lives up to the billing. Known for cherries and cheer, this small community, situated by the St. Joseph River, is cherished not only for its century-old fruit exchange, but for the good faith of friends. The 25.8 crime rate provided by citydata.com, the lowest in the region.
Everybody knows everyone here. And the nice thing about it is that when we have people that come in, say from Chicago area, they are felt welcomed as well. So everyone is very much a family. It's a family-oriented community.
Further down the Fruit Belt,
This community has just about everything you could ask for.
another one of the safest stopping grounds in Michigan, Stevensville, is located within Lincoln Township in Berrien County. With a population of just over 1,300 in Stevensville, you have a 1 in 146 chance of becoming a victim of any crime.
We've got a large area to cover, and we do that with 11 officers, including me.
While Tuesday was his first day on the job as interim chief of police, Gary Soper is no rookie. Soper has lived and worked in the Stevensville area his entire life. A large area to cover, but a trusted partnership with neighbors and other agencies lessens the load.
It's nice to know that, you know, that the numbers are as good as they are with, you know, and we don't have a police officer every mile, you know.
And the numbers he is referring to are not a surprise to anyone in any of the communities we visited. Overall livability ratings exceed average U.S. towns and cities for all 4 of these communities, making them extremely livable. While grades for amenities, housing, and education differ, their crime rates are undisputed. Wakarusa, Napanee, Eau Claire, and Stevensville all scored an A or higher, according to AreaVibes.com. In every case, their rates ranging from 70 to 80% below the national average. While petty theft and smaller crimes like vandalism and burglary still exist, major crimes like murder, rape, or armed robbery are rare. But what's the secret to making these communities so safe?
I don't know if there's a specific secret.
If it was a secret, I'd be rich.
I wish we could figure that out because that would be great so we could pass it on.
The old saying goes, a good chef never reveals his secret. But in these kitchens, the true test lies with those who live there.
People, when they grow up in Napanee, I want to do everything I can to get out of Napanee, to experience the rest of the world. And I think once they get married and start having kids, they realize what they have in Napanee. And it is something really special that we take, sometimes we take for granted.
Anything can happen anywhere, there's no doubt about that. But I think in a small community like this, things are looked after in a good way.
Some things never change.
I guess not.
In these communities, that comes slowly. It's felt in the leaves that shift with the seasons and surf that washes ashore and shapes these rocks. The more these winds seem to change, the more things stay the same.
And maybe that is the secret, Brian and Colleen. Nostalgia and reputation, after all. Such an amazing experience to see how these communities operate firsthand, really see how this old school mentality that we talked about of love thy neighbor truly works.
Yeah, Vahid, I must know, what did the police officers and police chiefs tell you that their challenge is going to be, at least in terms of crime, over maybe the next decade, next 10 years?
Right, that's a very good question. I asked the Stevensville interim police chief that same question, and he said the biggest challenge that he sees over the next 5 to 10 years is cybercrime, internet crime, things you see online. He says they have a full task force working and training for those types of situations.
And what about for everyone watching tonight? If they don't live in those 4 communities, how can they find out how their community stacks up?
Absolutely. You can go online onto our website, abc57.com, and I'll post a link to Area Vibes and crimereports.com where we receive much of our information here tonight.
Love that story. Love the
Yeah.
writing.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
All right, Vahid, nice job. Thank you.